What is up, my dudes, and that one girl just wants to see some shiny new toys? I got you, one girl. This is Bikes, Beards, and Brews. Let's kick that intro. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Before we kick this one off, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification. New videos are coming weekly. Ring that bell, you know when they drop. Let's get the other stuff out of the way. Want to save 10% on a Cardo communicator or save some money on some Beyond Riders gear or on some Hogworks gear? These should definitely check my referral links down below. Want to support me in all my do-gooderness like these cool guys here? Boom! These should become part of the Brew Crew and join the coffee page down below. Want to know why I'm asking you for money? Well, next to those 10,000 Amazon affiliate links that also go to a good cause is a link explaining what I do with your money. Get it, got it, cool, let's move on. All right, guys, so today we're going to be unboxing the DJI Osmo Action 360 Adventure Combo. Now, I am stateside. They are not selling these stateside yet, but I'm going to tell you how you can order one of these stateside if you want to get your hands on it. Just to give you an idea, I went to the DJI website. They give you a few different places where they recommend that you buy this from, including B&H Photo, another main competitor for B&H, the DJI eBay site, and the DJI Amazon site. None of those have this camera available, and there is no expected ship date currently. I have heard rumors of possibly in September, but I did reach out to some of these companies and I did try and get some sort of specifics on when they're going to restock and when they're going to ship. During that time, I actually had a pre-order over at B&H, and even then, they were not able to give me any answers. So if you're waiting for that, good luck. Honestly, good luck. Maybe it works out for you, maybe it doesn't. But if you want this now, I'm going to tell you how to do it. In fact, I ordered this last Wednesday. I received this Tuesday, just yesterday. So it has been 6 days. It shipped from South Korea. It shipped via FedEx. I had full communication from the company, so all the tracking information, they sent me a few other messages to follow up, all that stuff. So total up and up. I didn't get some like weird dude showing up in a broken down old like Chevette from 1986 dropping this on my doorstep. It came from FedEx. It was all legit. I have not opened it yet. We're gonna do that together. So let's get into that now. All right, so obviously we got the overhead cam. What's up? We're using two DJI Action 5 Pros. All right. Let's do this. So I haven't seen this thing. I haven't held it in my hands, nothing. I wanted to wait to show you guys this. So this is exactly how I received it. I got some paperwork, just the eBay sale thing right there. I'm not gonna open that up in case, you know, it has some banking information or whatnot. A little bit of bubble wrap. It did show up in a FedEx wrapper. I removed that just because my address is on it, all that fun stuff. But there we go. This is what you get. This is a fully sealed DJI Osmo 360 box. All the way around. Everything's there. Cool. Let's break into this and let's see exactly what you get in the Adventure Combo set. Because I looked at the other combos, I looked at just the camera set. Honestly, I thought this gave me the most bang for my buck. It may be different for you. You do you, boo. All right. Get that off. A little sticker action there, that's cool. Nothing on the other side, right? Oh, there's something on the other side. Cool. So is this just a push-through box? What are we doing? All right, so right away you're seeing the camera and accessories. Let's go ahead and get those out. Anytime I get to use my Lazy Susan, I'm happy. All right, so first and foremost, you get your DJI selfie stick. Gonna be the first thing you see. This helps make it so your video, if you're doing a 360 video and you're stitching it together, this disappears. I am on the fence about these things. Honestly, I get it. I like the little trick that these disappear, you know, your selfie stick isn't in the video, but 99% of the time, the people doing this are doing it with the sun in front of them, which I get is good lighting. However, you then have the shadow of this on you, on the ground, and so it just looks weird because you can tell you're holding something because your hand just looks like that, and then there's a shadow of this in the camera right beside you. It doesn't matter if you can see this selfie stick. 99% of the time, you have done nothing to cover up the fact that you are holding a camera. All right, I'm over it. All right, so let's get into the accessories. That's probably rant one of like 500 for this. So we are getting a rechargeable battery case. We are getting a carrying case, a couple DJI stickers, and a cover. So let's open up with that first. Let's start with that. So yeah, you get a cover for your camera. So when you're not using it, you want to protect it. This is important because this camera does not have replaceable lenses. We'll get into that a little bit later. Hang tight. But yeah, this little silicone cover can be quite useful. And then you have your case here. Honestly, I would probably use the case long before I use that cover. Nice soft case. Let's see what we got in here. We got a cleaning cloth, a little silica gel. You've got one of your magnetic connectors. So that would go right on here, or you know, whatever base you want to use to connect that camera. These bases are universal, so this is going to work on my Action 5 Pro. Any of the bases I'm using on my Action 5 Pro are going to work on this camera. So that is one of the things I love about DJI. Everything is very universal and they have a fantastic ecosystem. We'll chat about that a little bit more as well as we have in the past. You got a little charging cord. And then you've got that nice felt bag there. That's good. That's good. And that will protect the camera. So, I mean, overall, I would probably use this over this, just because this is going to be easier to slap into my back pocket. You know, it's going to go fairly flat. This, kind of bulky. This, I could definitely see being a little bit stronger. You know, maybe if you're throwing this camera into like a road case or something, if you're doing like motorcycle trips like I plan to do, this would be sturdier and a little bit more protective, especially if you're somebody who's a little bit more clumsy. This is a good all around though. So yeah, let's set those aside for right now. All right, now this is one of the reasons why I ordered the Adventure Combo. What you get are 3 batteries and a recharging case. That is fantastic. I love this. And the great thing is these batteries are the same batteries that you're using in your Action 5 Pro. So if you have the Action 5 Pro, if you plan on getting the Action 6 Pro when that comes out, most likely that's also going to use these same batteries. I love that. That is a fantastic ecosystem where I don't have to carry tons of different batteries. I can just carry 1 or 2 of these cases and I can pull out the batteries as needed. I can swap them as needed. I can get a little charge when they go dead. This is great. I love this. This is worth its weight in gold. All right, now let's get to the coup de grace, and that is the Osmo 360 camera. So let's pop that open. Show that from above. What's up? Yeah, nicely packed, nicely protected. Let's open that up. We're gonna be careful where we put this because we don't want to scratch those lenses. I don't know how durable these lenses are. I don't want to find out how durable these lenses are, but this is the camera. Show it from above. How you doing? Flip that over. That is your camera. So let's see what we got here. I have not actually used this camera yet, so obviously. You've got your USB recharging port, and this is also where you're going to connect it to your computer, your external drive, whatever, if you're going to be moving data around. On this side, you have your battery port. So you pop battery in, you're good to go. This is the front of the camera. Very basic, nothing's going on there. Just the camera. Looks like a couple mic holes and then an indicator light. Let you know if it's powered on, if it's recording. You've got your other side, have a camera there. Indicator light just below it. Little screen to do all your work with. Your menu, Looks like you've got a couple mic holes here and a few mic holes up top as well. So this is very well set up to capture sound all the way around. We are going to power it on in just a moment. We're going to take a look at that. I'm not sure how far we're going to get because it may have to run updates and whatnot, but I do want to get into some of the conversations that you do want to be aware of if you go for this camera. On the bottom, you have a post where you can just screw into this thing if you want. So we've got our little stand there. If you don't want to use the magnetic clip, bam, screw it right on, no problem. If you do want to use the magnetic clip, that connects to the stand right here. And then, just like anything else Osmo, you clip it into place. Make sure both clips are in place and locked in. There we go, nice and sturdy. Bam. A little button here. I'm sure the button does. There we go. Still new. You can lean that so you can get a couple different angles if you want. If you want your selfie stick to disappear, you do have to have it completely straight though. So keep that in mind if you're one of those people. Whatever, it's cool. But yeah, that is the full setup. If you need to disconnect, bam. Now it's got little posts right there. Those are actually designed because there is another selfie stick you can get from DJI that has an external battery, so you can extend your recording time and it'll power right through there. I'm also certain you're gonna start seeing a lot of those in the third-party market as well, so keep an eye out. Maybe you can save a few bucks or get a post that is a little bit more usable than the one that DJI offers up. I think theirs is just a straight out handheld, and I'm not quite sure if it has a base or not. Don't quote me on that. So I think it's just meant to be held, and that's it. All right, so a few things about the DJI Osmo 360 camera that I do want to get into that you should be aware of. I mentioned already, these lenses are not replaceable. Right now, this is the only 360 camera that's coming out into the market. And we're talking about the Insta360 X5, we're talking about the GoPro Max 2 that's coming out very shortly. This is the only one that doesn't have replaceable lenses of that big three. Now, if you're anything like me, you're probably gonna put screen protectors on this. I'm not worried about the replaceable lenses. I've had many action cameras. I have yet to break a lens, knock on wood, because I always use tempered glass screens over my camera lenses and anything else that is a screen on my camera. The cameras that you're seeing me through right now have had a series of cracks on their lenses, and it was the tempered glass. I peel that off, I throw a new piece on, I am good to go. And that is because I do a lot of highway riding, I do a lot of just bombing around towns and whatnot, gravel pops up, you get hit with something, it happens. It's not the fault of the cameras. So yeah, I always put screen protectors on, and there will be a screen protector for this. I actually have them on order. They're arriving today. They're about $15. You can get them on Amazon. You can order them from DJI, a couple other places. If you're getting this camera, I highly recommend you do the same. Now, another great thing about this camera in particular is DJI has recently been putting storage into their cameras. My two Action 5 Pros have 50 gigs of onboard storage, so I don't need an SD card if I don't want, depending on how long I'm recording for, of course, but 50 gigs gets you quite a long way. I normally use 128 gig cards. I record at 4K, 60 frames per second, and I get about 2.5 hours per card. I don't really need more than 2.5 hours for what I do. You may be different, and that is fine, but that is what I do, the results I get. So, if you're looking into this, just be aware, that's what you get, 50 gigs on board. With that being said, this camera has 100 gigs on board. That is pretty damn solid. Now, obviously, if you're recording in 360, your files are going to be bigger. So if I was to use 128 gigs, I would probably get about an hour, give or take, and watch further videos, like future videos. I'm definitely going to be testing this and looking into this, but we're probably looking at about an hour worth of footage. There's nothing I'm doing where I need an hour worth of footage. However, with this camera, I do intend to use external SD cards like I normally do. These are the cards that I use. Like I said, I normally use 128 gigs. I bumped up to 256 because I do know that these cameras use more space, so I want it to allot for that. These cards have never done me wrong yet, and hopefully that remains the same with this camera. So this is what's going to be going in there. Now, one of the complaints I've been hearing about this camera, and it seems like it has been an issue, is there has been some fogging in the lenses. According to DJI, that is because of extreme temperature changes and there may be a little moisture inside the camera. The way they tell you to fix that is to open the battery door and then turn the camera on and run it at its highest settings, which are 8K 50 frames per second. And they want you to run that for about 20 minutes just so it can heat up and any sort of moisture inside can dissipate. I plan to do that before I start using this camera just so I don't have to run into that issue when I'm on the road somewhere. Hopefully that takes care of the issue going forth. Again, pay attention to future videos. I'll let you know firsthand if I run into that problem. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and power up this camera. Now, I just got these batteries here and I do not want to use them until they are fully charged, just so I have well-conditioned batteries that will last me a whole lot longer in life. So I am going to be using the battery in this case. This is the third battery for my Action 5 Pro. I ordered both of my Action 5 Pros with these cases and with 3 batteries each. So I now have 9 total batteries. But again, let me just show you side by side. This is one that I already used. This is for my DJI Action 5 Pro. Let's pull one of these out. We'll do it overhead. Bam, they are both exactly the same. 1950 mAh. They are the same size. They are the same battery. I think that is phenomenal. That to me is just great when it comes to an ecosystem. Like I said, you don't have to run around with multiple sets of batteries. I could just grab 1 or 2 of these cases and I'm good to go. So let's go ahead and power this up. All right, we're gonna do English. That is a touch screen. We're gonna skip all that for now. Confirm, confirm. I don't know what date and time it is. Let's see, August 20th. The time is 8:40 in the morning. Look at that. You won't have to wonder when I recorded this because we are setting it all up right now. And just to note, I will have a screen protector on this as well. Yeah, your quick start guide. This is just gonna walk you through the camera and what everything does. We'll get back to that. Now, when you first get this camera, you are going to have to run an update on it. So you will have to connect this to your phone, your laptop, whatever it takes to get it updated. For the most part, everything on this screen looks and acts exactly like it does on my Action 5 Pros. So I like that. Right now it's not doing a thing for me, which is fantastic. Oh, there we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Let's go back to our home. Cool. Let's see. So I am going to have to do the screen adjustments later on, which I fully intended anyway. The 100 gigs of storage on board is claiming that it can record for 1 hour and 41 minutes with just that. That is pretty damn solid. So depending on what you're going to use this camera for and what you intend to do with it, you've got a little over 1.5 hours of recording at a fairly high setting overall. That's, I mean, no complaints there. That's pretty solid. Well, so we've got standard D-warp, we've got wide, we've got ultra wide. Probably be doing standard D-warp here. Let's go back. It's 6K. which goes up to 60 frame, 40K, which goes up to 100 frames per second. Yeah, we'll get back to that a little bit later on. All right, so one more thing I want to touch upon with this camera that I feel like a lot of people are misleading you on. I've watched quite a few reviews with this camera, and I've heard people say this over and over again, and they are 100% incorrect. This does not have a 1-inch sensor. Now, this is one of the shady things I did not like DJI doing with this camera. And let me bring this box over. Let's see if I can hit it with, like, you know, the sky cam here. But it says 1-inch 360 imaging. It does not say 1-inch sensor. Now, if you notice, there's a little number right by it, and I'll try and pop it up behind me as well so it's easier to see and read. When you come down below and you find that, it is in super small print. Essentially what it says are there are 2 different sensors in here. They combine together and they make up what you would get with a 1-inch sensor. Part of how they're doing that is they use the entire sensor on both of those sensors. A lot of these 360 cams, let's say 1-inch sensor, just for easy math. Let's say they have a 1-inch sensor. They will only use about 3/4 of that sensor. The outside edges do not get utilized. It's a whole nerdy computer thing, don't worry about it. However, the Osmo 360, using those 2 sensors that it has in here, completely edge to edge, makes up the 1-inch sensor effect. So yes, be aware that this does not have a 1-inch sensor. And in fairness, neither does the Insta360. With the GoPro Max 2, we don't know yet. None of the details have been given. But as it stands, no 360 camera has a 1-inch sensor currently. All right, so how can you get yours if you are stateside and you want one right now and you don't want to wait for all the other stuff? Because honestly, you're probably not going to buy directly from DJI anytime soon. They are having a lot of issues with the US government, stock supplies, all this stuff that they don't want to get into. And it doesn't seem like they're prioritizing getting any of their hardware into the US currently. Even when you go to their website, they encourage you to go to the other sites that I mentioned in the beginning. Well, drop down below into my description and I have put a link to the company on eBay that I ordered this from. Again, they sold it to me at the exact same price that DJI has it listed. That, as you can see, it is the same product. Free shipping, FedEx tracking, good communication. I got this in Boston 6 days from the time I ordered it. So in less than a week, this came from South Korea to my doorstep. Nobody else is going to guarantee that right now, at least none of the companies that DJI is recommending. So if you do want this, if you don't want to get price gouged and you want it quickly, check that link down below. I don't make any money off of it. I have no affiliation with them. That is just the way I went, and it's what I got, and it was quite successful, so I want to share that with you. All right, guys, that's what I've got. What do you got? Are you going for this camera? Are you just going to go for the Insta360? Are you just going to wait and see what the GoPro Max 2 has to offer? Do you even care about 360 cameras? You probably do because you're watching this video. But sound off in the comments down below. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification, share this video with friends, share it with family, share it with that one dude you know who's like, I really, really want the DJI Osmo 360, but I live in the States and there's just no way. Now there is one guy. Now there is. He loves this stuff, trust me. I'll see you all on the flip side.